Welcome back to the Joyride. This is the Rusty D-Min. You may have seen another recent Joyride we did on the Rusty Miso, which is another everyday board, and I promise I'm not going to desecrate this board like I did that one. So, Rusty Priesendorfer, of obviously Rusty fame, has been using diamond tails since the early 70s. He says he really likes them because it's a little bit of a mix between a round pin and a squash tail, and it provides a tighter turning radius than most average everyday boards. This is a board that's designed for smaller surf in general, but because of the tail, it does have the capability to go to roughly head high, maybe a little bit above. And that's that. Welcome to Joyride.
Bases hitting so hard that you'll see these skits. Well, check it out, make sure it doesn't happen again. I got my grip on it, so turn it up to volume 10.
Volume 10?
Word.
Like that brother from LA, Lord Radio and Hellbot. Beam streaking through the bay, we all city like the mayor. You see my name, I'm more fresh shit than Creed Taylor. The Jeep for international ladies. Like a sailor,
I get drunk and bust flows to the beat. Like my man Jay, I feel the agony of defeat. Cause sucker chumps wanna test and step like we don't know.
We doing shows in San Francisco.
That's right, young rider, got a hit for all you riders. Time to bless another track, we getting rid of the whack.
Right, we put them in the back with the other Tap and Z shit. Beats hit hard, make the trolleys do ollies. Old folks grab the collies and vacate the bay. See a name in Northern Lights.
That's Love and Double K, we getting wild for the night. We getting wild for the night. And it all went down on what?
All right, well, that was surprising. I know Rusty said that with the diamond tail that it was gonna, hold in a little bit better, but I didn't expect the board to be this stiff. It almost felt like I couldn't even get going and get the turns around on the smaller waves. It was tracking a little bit, and I couldn't get all the way around like on a carve back to the whitewash. It really needed that extra juice to grip in and to do what it wanted to do, but once it did, it felt amazing. So I rode it as a thruster today, and I used the AM1s in Honeycomb, which is basically my standard performance fin. And, it is a little bit raked out, so they definitely have some hold, but they also have a smaller center fin, which makes the board really maneuverable. But like I said, I still felt that the board was stiff for me, and I'm a person who definitely errs on the side of, having stiffer fins, stiffer boards, because I don't like feeling that slidey feeling. It just goes to show how much the tail itself can impact the overall characteristics of the surfboard. I don't think I've ever ridden a diamond tail before, and it was just a really unique experience. Interestingly enough, this board is kind of positioned as a small wave board, but I honestly think it would go better in fun size waves, like head high, maybe a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna try it maybe in a little bit bigger conditions next time and see if it can hold up. I think it can. Alright, so that was a really interesting session. Basically, the waves went from terrible all over the place when we first got out there, and then it just turned into this absolute dreamland beach break wedgie skate park. And it was a little frustrating because I couldn't quite get this board going. It still had that crazy, just wanted to go straight vibe to it, and that might have been partly my fault because I actually put some stiffer fins in because I knew that I was going to surf some waves that were bigger and more powerful. So this session I threw in the coffin fins. They're actually a slightly larger than medium fin. They're still technically medium, but they're on the larger side, and they're all fiberglass, so it's pretty much the stiffest medium fin that you could find. And I thought that I would need that out here because the waves were so much bigger than what this board is theoretically designed for, but I found still that I was just getting stuck on my turns. And I don't know if I need a smaller fin, a more flexible fin, maybe quad or something, but yeah, I couldn't quite figure out the fin situation on this board. Maybe there's like a magic concoction that you put them together and the board just absolutely ignites, but I wasn't able to find it this time. Off the bottom, it felt like I did want that hold, but once I got to the top and I was trying to go back around, it just was like, it was so slow making that transition. And so on a turn where I'd usually be able to do, a roundhouse and get back up to the whitewater, I was ending up just basically driving straight into the whitewater, which is never a good thing. When I did try to go off the lip and do more of like a pivoty style turn, it felt like the nose, because of how wide and flat it is, was catching on the way down. My main takeaway is I feel like this board is one iteration away from being amazing, but right now it's got maybe too straight of an outline, a little bit too wide of a nose, and a tail that's just a little bit too stiff. So just a couple minor tweaks and I think this board could be amazing, but for me right now it just has a few little things that it needs to get worked on.